Every December, thousands of real estate agents do the same thing. They pick out a holiday card, write their name on the bottom of it, send it to their past clients, and think, staying in touch, done. And then they wonder why January feels slow, February feels like they're starting over again, and why their phone isn't ringing. Because here's the truth that no one tells you. One holiday card per year doesn't keep you top of mind. It just keeps you barely remembered. And in this business, barely remembered is as good as forgotten. And this video is all about solving that. We're going to figure out exactly how often to show up, why the frequency matters more than what most people would think, and how we can consistently show up in a way that feels effortless and not exhausting. I want to share a psychological concept that, once I heard about it, changed the way I think about marketing forever. And once you see it, you'll never think about your follow-up strategy the same way ever again. It's called the mere exposure effect. It's something that was discovered by psychologist Robert Zejonc back in the 1960s. And what he found is people develop a preference towards things just because they've been exposed to it repeatedly. Not because it's any better, not for any logical reason, just because it's familiar. Think about your favorite song. The first time you heard it, you probably thought, well, this is okay. The fifth time, you start getting into it a little bit more. The 10th, you're really starting to like it. And by the 15th time, it's your new favorite song. The song didn't get any better. You just had more familiarity with it. And with familiarity, it breeds liking. Now, here's what that means for your real estate business. The mere exposure effect says that people develop a preference for it just based on familiarity, even when they don't have any sort of specific information about what the thing is. And when your card starts showing up in their mailbox month after month, you stop being this person that they worked with 3 years ago that helped them buy or sell their house. You start becoming their real estate person. And it's not because you pitched them anything or asked for anything. It's just because you've been showing up consistently over time. And becoming familiar doesn't just breed comfort. In real estate, it also breeds referrals. Now, let's make this even more real. Imagine you have a friend, and maybe you do have a friend like this, that they check in once a year. Holidays, your birthday, something like that, but you don't hear from them any other time. How often are you going to go to them to share exciting news, or send them a referral, or wholeheartedly recommend them for something? Probably not very often. That's not a real friendship. That's just someone who happens to remember you exist once a year. Now flip it. Imagine you have a friend who is amazing at staying in touch, consistently reaches out to you and says, hey, I'm thinking about you, or asks you about how your life is going. And of course, not an overwhelming amount. You just happen to see their name enough that when something relevant comes up, you immediately think of them. That's the type of relationship that you're building by sending cards consistently to your past clients and sphere. It's not a business transaction, it's a genuine friendship. And that's the difference between an agent who gets referrals occasionally compared to someone who gets them constantly. And here's something that I hope you fully appreciate, because I put a lot of time and effort into this. I've tested all sorts of different frequencies, from every other week, every other month, monthly, once a year, twice a year. I've tried it all. And what I've found is that anything below 8 times a year doesn't build the momentum that we're looking for the mere exposure effect to kick in. Above 8, that's when you really start seeing the results kick in. Here are the 2 frequencies that I recommend, and both for different reasons. Option 1 is every month, 12 cards a year. And this is the gold standard. The reason why is when you start showing up every month consistently, you stop being just memorable and you start becoming routine. Your clients are expecting that you're going to show up month after month. You become a part of their lives. And what that translates into is now anytime they hear their neighbor talking about potentially selling, their niece or nephew looking for their first home, or just thinking about maybe moving themselves or buying an investment, you're the first person that comes to mind because you've become a part of their life. The only real downside to this is obviously the time commitment. Writing the cards, stuffing them, stamping them, sending them out. We'll talk about how we can solve that entirely in a later video. Option 2 is sending 8 cards a year. And you can stagger these kind of seasonally or based off of holidays that resonate for you and your sphere. You know, the trade-off is pretty simple. There's more gap in between the cards, the compounding and the mere exposure effect doesn't happen as quickly as if you're sending monthly. But if you're someone who's just getting started and just wants to try this out and commit and not drop off, 8 times a year can be a good option for you as well. And I want to be clear, monthly dominates, but doing something seasonally or 8 times a year is by far better than doing nothing at all. Now, I want to be straight with you about something, because most marketing promises that you'll have immediate results that are massive. And while it is true that when you send out your first mailing, you should expect to get quite a bit of feedback. A lot of people thanking you for sending them a card, a quick call. A lot of people even get a referral right off the bat. But the one thing I don't want you to do is judge the whole tactic, the whole campaign based on the first month. Those early responses are real, and I for sure want you to celebrate them. But what I don't want you to do is judge every month based on the first one. The real ROI of this is the compounding over time. Most of my clients see their first real repeat or referral deal within the first 4 months. And the amazing thing about this is that that person becomes part of your list as well. And the compounding is already snowballing. Think of it like compound interest. The first month feels slow. By month 4, you start seeing some movement. And by month 12, you don't even know how you ran your business without this. But the agents who quit after the first couple months, they have no idea what was waiting for them if they had just stayed consistent for a year or more. I've coached and worked with over 1,000 agents. Now, if I could give you the #1 pattern of the agents who get extraordinary results compared to the ones who are generally only getting average results, it comes down to consistency. It's not the ones who find the perfect strategy and execute it once. It's the ones that stay consistent with a good strategy, time after time. Think about your favorite and most successful content creators. Someone like a Gary Vee or an Alex Hormozi. They're putting out tons of content every single day. They're not waiting until they feel like it. They're not waiting until it's perfect. Their strategy is just consistency. And your card campaign is the same. The magic isn't in just one card. It's the compounding of the cards over time. It's the subconscious thought from your clients every time a card lands in their mailbox that they're thinking, this person hasn't forgot about me. And if you want to get consistent referrals from your past clients in Sphere, you need to be consistent with them first. Knowing that you should send cards and be consistent is one thing, but actually doing it is another. So let's put this framework into practice. First thing I want you to do right now is pick your frequency, either once a month or 8 times a year, and just kind of space it out every 45 days and find maybe a holiday that's nearby, or you can just send it because it's 45 days apart. Second thing is I want you to put this in your calendar right now. If we're not specific about things, then we can never be consistent. Ambiguity is where consistency goes to die. So go ahead, go throw that in your calendar right now. The third thing I want you to do is figure out how you actually want to fulfill this. Some people like having a daily checklist of I'll do 5 every day or 10 every day. Other people like blocking off a full day or maybe 2 and putting on a good show, making some extra coffee, and just blasting them out and know that they'll take an ibuprofen later for their hand cramps. And lastly, if the time commitment's feeling a little overwhelming, just know in a later video, we have a way that you can get all the results with almost none of the work. But for now, pick your frequency, put it in your calendar as a reminder, and figure out how you want to batch the work. The last piece of this is commit to at least 12 months. Because here's the thing, the agents who quit after just a couple months, they had no idea what was waiting for them at month 6 or month 12. So now we know who to send cards to, your referral goldmine. We know how often to send them. Now the next thing is, what do the cards actually look like? Because here's something most agents don't think about, is the design of your card is already doing psychological work before your clients read the message. And in the next video, I'm going to show you how to design a card that gets noticed, gets kept, gets talked about, including the #1 design mistake that makes your card instantly feel like marketing rather than a personal note, and kills the whole effect before we even get started. See you there.